Welcome to the South African Rotax Max Challenge, the final round at Zwartkops International Raceway, west of Pretoria. In the Micro Max, it was a five-way battle for the championship between Naidu, Koersen, Sambudla, Murat and Levy. Koersen drew first blood by getting pole position ahead of Vian Boshoff. Reza Levy had a lot of work to do ahead of Devian Naidu and Erich Heistek. It's yours to win. What's your plans?
My plan is just tomorrow to put my head down and not look back and just focus and just no one pass me and just to concentrate and just win it.
It was a bit messy, but I thought I can maybe just be alone so that it would be better because everyone was dicing.
Yeah, because people were driving as if it's a race and not as if it's qualifying.
Yeah, but I was a bit mad because someone almost pushed me off the track, but now I'm really happy.
Starting front row, lots of pressure because you're surrounded by all these championship contenders.
Not really, but I'm used to it, but a bit of pressure, yeah.
Well, I just think just do what I do best. Just stay in front and just pass every corner and just stay in front.
Well, I'm starting fourth on the grid, trying to get a good start for the first heat today. And my plan is just to try dive everyone and hopefully win.
This circuit allows for overtaking, but you can also go quite defensive on it if you want to. Is it something that suits you?
Well, being defensive on this track is losing drive out of the corners, so that's something that I'll try to do, but not too much.
With literally 15 points amongst the top 4 guys in the championship, who do you have to watch and what do you have to do?
Definitely Reese Koersen, because he's been fast this whole weekend, and if I get in front of him, I'm just gonna try block.
The plan is I need to get into the top 3 first, like finish first twice and come second twice, and then I will win the championship.
Koersen drew first blood by winning the first heat ahead of Devian Naidu, Vian Boshoff ahead of Reza Levy and Sambudla struggling in 5th place.
So 6:45 up the front 10 is Reza Levy. He is in second. The man on pole, of course, is Reese Koersen. He is 6:55. Behind them, it is Vian Boshoff and Luvive Sambudla. You've got Mohammed Murat and Devian Naidu, Erich Heistek and Mabunda up there as well.
See if we get it right the third time around.
The outside line is always the more difficult one to get into. But here we go. Oh, I don't know if that was a good start as well, but this time, are they letting him go there? They're letting him go this time. Down into turn 1, great start and a good bit of defensive driving from Reese Koersen as he dived almost instantaneously to the inside line to fend off the attack from Sambudla, who's moved up into 2nd place. It is Reza Levy, the Razor, who's dropped down into 3rd, and under a bit of pressure there from Vian Boshoff and Mohammed Murat.
Sambudla's going to have to hurry up and get to Reese Koersen. I mean, he had a very good start down there at the opening lap there, or the opening corner rather. Look at the momentum he has and the gap he has, about 3-4 kart lengths already.
And Reza Levy moves up into 2nd place. So Sambudla down into 3rd. Didn't see that one coming.
Not at all.
All of a sudden there's a bit of a maneuver happening, as you can see there from the barrel man. And
Devian Naidu also in the picture there, yeah.
I was about to say, Devian Naidu is a man, of course, who's already secured himself a ticket to there. And the top 4 basically on the track are the top 4 in this championship too. So it's literally all to play for here today. We've already seen Reese Koersen take the win yesterday, which of course has moved him into contention for potentially taking the championship. If he takes another victory here today, and he's leading as it is, and you can see the gap he's already got, the victory today would probably do the same thing as what we've seen earlier in one of the junior categories. Put that one hand on the championship trophy.
Yep, and then going into the final heat, he's going to have a smooth ride, trying to keep it clean as possible, probably getting a start just as he has now. I mean, look, again, still maintaining that 3 to 4 kart length gap.
He's the man who is quickest so far. 51.1 coming out of him. 51 3s, 5s, 5s, 7s, 9s out of the next 6 karts on track. So you can see that Reese Koersen has got his head down and is trying to get away from Reza Levy. Reza Levy, the Razor, really talented young man. Has already wrapped up the Western Province Championship. He's had double Western Province Championships, of course, down in Cape Town at the Kalani International Karting Track. And now under pressure from Sambudla into turn 1. Sambudla actually messed that up. he went in a little bit too hot. You can see him had to try and correct it and catch the cart, which has slowed him slightly and brought him into contention with Devian Naidu. Devian Naidu bringing along Vian Bosov, and Vian Bosov, wow, what a start there from him. He was in 4th place. He's remained up in that top 5 and has not really given up the chase just yet, even though he's not really involved in the top 4 fight for the championship.
Top 2 going down and keeping it kind of neat. I mean, you've got Rizzo Levy there kind of heading the train and marshalling everyone, keeping them in his slipstream in essence. We'll see if the toll that they're building up here works for them or in their advantage, and if they're able to actually close the gap on Reece Curzon. But he looks good where he is.
He certainly does. Yeah. And I can tell you something, if Razor can just get his head down and start not worrying about the carts behind him and work with Sambudla, and I think that's what Sambudla is trying to do here with Devian Naidu. They can't afford to be fighting yet, not with the gap that we're seeing Reece Curzon pull out here. If Reece Curzon hangs on to that front lead the entire race, Sambudla is deciding, hang on a second, Razor, you're not going quick enough. Let me take the lead for a bit. But you see, this is what's going to happen. They're going to start fighting.
Precisely.
And the fighting is going to slow them down. And by slowing them down, and Devian Naidu realizes that, he dives on the inside. Oh, the Praga man diving on the inside as well. Great bit of driving there. And what a move there from Murat. Murat just squeezed things out and found a way through out of nowhere because of the fight that was happening.
He's well done to the Razor there.
Nice recovery from him.
Very nice, yeah.
So Sambudla loses 4 places there, and Razor maintains his 2nd place. He saw what was going wrong. He thought, okay, Yerks, go. Watch and see, and I'll come back at you, because I can see that you're not going to make that corner. You're not going to make it up to the top of the hill, and you're not going to get into the twisties like you're supposed to.
But they just killed the entire 4 to 5 lap build-up they had of momentum. So all the work they've gone in for the past few laps has just been...
More importantly, though, it's 1.7 seconds now down to 2nd place. So they've lost another half a second because of them fighting so hard.
Precisely.
You've got to think to yourself at this point in time in the season, if you're looking for a championship, do you want to be fighting as hard? Murat into 3rd, and Naidu down to 4th place. And I think Sambudla now are going to be thinking about that as well, saying, listen, I've got to get to 2nd at least.
Yeah.
I cannot afford to be finishing anywhere further down than 2nd, particularly if Reece Curzon is winning. And have they got an answer here? Because I don't think they do. Reece Curzon is already down into the 50.1s, his fastest lap so far. But let's see what he can do. He just did a 51.188. So he's constantly in the 50.1s. Everybody else is 50.9s, 50.3s, 50.2s. 50.2 now from Reece Curzon. And in fact, Reece Curzon down into 49s. 49.889. Or 899, I should say. That's the fastest lap of the weekend. His fastest lap yesterday was a 49.9. So he's gone 1/10 of a second quicker than what he did yesterday in the first heat.
Murat joining the conversation there. He's trying to marshal someone ahead and saying, let's go, let's try and get ahead of one Devian Naidu there.
If they come down to turn 1, you might just catch a glimpse of his cart on the exit point here if we go to the reverse angle. There you can see him just in the background there. So these two fighting hard. Reza retaking 2nd place and diving into turn 2. And there you can see Sambudla.
Yeah.
And look at how far back he is. Sambudla now must be feeling quite dejected.
Yeah, he must be thinking of heat 3 by at this point. I mean, we've got 2.5 laps to go. There's really nothing left for him to do. He's just got to make sure he just keeps it clean, no silly mistakes, and work his way back up for the next heat.
Devian Naidu getting a good move down into the bottom end there and back into 2nd place ahead of Reza Levy. So Reza Levy now going to have to return the favour if he can. Maybe wait until the last lap. This is going to be starting the penultimate one right now as they come through. So Levy might just wait one more lap before he decides to have a go. So penultimate lap has been started, and as I say that, he gives me the commentator's curse. No, I'm going to go now, Greg.
He's the Razor.
He does his own thing.
Exactly. He's
I
going
like
to
what
slice
he's
right
doing.
through that.
Oh, but because of that late outbraking, there was a good move there from Vian Bosov. Vian Bosov has now come back into contention, brought along Murat and Haystack along for the ride. We've got up back to 6 carts fighting for 2nd. Or 5 carts, sorry.
And Naidu and Levy have to be careful there because 2 very aggressive drivers just joined them. That is Bosov and Murat. And they're not forgiving. They're not very forgiving going into the turns. If they see a door, they're going to go right through.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. So Razor wants to get ahead. He wants to be leading this group. He doesn't want to be sitting behind anybody. Watch for the dive down into turn 1 now. He's in perfect position now to launch an attack down into turn 1. He gets good drive. He gets great line coming out. He gets a bit of defensive maneuvering happening from Devian Naidu. Watch for the cutback. Oh, and look at Murat! Where did Murat come from? That is a massive maneuver there. From 4th place, dropping down into 2nd place, diving through. Mohamed Murat just testing those brakes out to the maximum, and they seem to work because he's made it stick in a turn 2.
Literally, as I said, they better watch out for Murat and Boshoff. And Murat coming up best of the two that...
Look how defensive he goes down into the bottom, though. Up to the twisties, Divya Naidu comes back at him, so does Reza, but Murat was just too defensive. He compromised his drive.
He did.
So he wasn't able to carry the speed that he needs. And all of a sudden, hello, we've got 639 coming to join us as well, as Haystack now has a chance. Eric Haystack is joining his Praga stablemate there and wants to give it a run to the money. Run to the line, though, is all about this man. Wowee. Has anybody got an answer here to Reese Kuzen this weekend? 49.899, fastest lap of the race. He takes the second victory of the weekend and looking like he could potentially be the championship leader heading into this one and extending his championship lead for heat number 3 later on this afternoon. It's Reese Kuzen from Divya Naidu, Mohamed Murat and Bjorn Boshoff beating out Reza Levy, Eric Haystack, Luive Sambudla, Travis Mingay, Josh Smith and Mabunda coming through for 10th place. We'll be back soon for more action now from the Junior Max.
On my way, this couldn't happen before I've been in GMP, and this has been a good week, and I just want to win the next 2 and just win the championship.
My race went quite well, starting 6th. It was quite a tough time. The start wasn't that good, but at the end of the race I came 3rd is not too bad. So yeah.
How are you going to improve that position in the next race?
But my time was decent, so I'll see where I start, and hopefully I start in front and I can win next race.
On pole position is not a bad place to be starting, but it's not Reese Kuzen who's on pole position. It's the 698 there of Divya Naidu. Now, he was also a close contender. There's actually 5 karts in it for this championship as we started this round. As they head down towards turn number 1 now, looks like they've got a clean and clear start, and Naidu hits the front. So Divya Naidu getting the whole shot down into turn 1. Leading things out, though, over the 655, and Reese Kuzen already going into attack mode and goes to the lead.
Yeah, the Razor has to really work hard and get to the front, and for that unless to happen, he needs to be in a very good position nonetheless. So he hasn't exactly given up. So he needs at least a podium, I believe, in the early part of the race to be able to capitalize on whatever happens in front of him.
Well, he's not close enough, unfortunately, there to Reese Kuzen right now, because Reza at this stage is out of the top 5. In fact, I think he might be just in 5th place. Yes, he is in 5th place there as they go over the XPS crossover. And it's not quite where he wants to be. He's got to be ahead of Reese Kuzen. He's got to be beating Reese Kuzen. And unfortunately, like in the past here at Zwartkops, it's not his favorite circuit. You can see he's not happy with the track itself. He's a lot more comfortable, of course, at his home track down in Cape Town. He goes very well in V-Town, and he's also very good at Idubi. But here in Zwartkops, it's kind of like that the cursed track for him. He's not his favorite place to be.
Jeez, I hope that's not what he's thinking about. He's going to have to focus a lot on the next few laps and take it, I suppose, one apex at a time and take what's coming at him.
Not easy to do. You know, it's like being a racer. You've got that one little sort of niggle in your mindset, and the niggle, of course, is Zwartkops here for Reza. But he's not giving up, that's for sure. It's definitely a young man that does not give up easily, and he'll fight as hard as he can over the next couple of laps. Remember, this is a 15-lapper. We've got one more set of heats, one more heat to come your way after this, and then we break for a small lunch break here at Zwartkops. But Reese Kuzen doing an incredible job out front and already pulling almost 0.2 of a second ahead of the second place kart there. In fact, Divya Naidu has not let him go. I thought Naidu would have been slightly down. Whoa! How was that move from Reza? Reza Levy just diving through, literally from out of nowhere, up into 3rd place as we get a set of points from Jeff, my main man here at Zwartkops. Thanks, Jeffy. There we go. As we get into the thick of it now, we've actually got a whole set of points and we can work things out as to how they stand in this category. In fact, let's go straight to that one as we get into Micromax. Let's find them quickly and see how things stand in the Micromax class. There they are. In terms of championship points, we've got 359 points for Reese Kuzen, 347 points for Divya Naidu, and 341 points for Reza Levy. So yeah, Reza Levy might be just out of this, but he's not giving up. He's up to 3rd place. The championship battle is 1 and 2 on track right now. Kuzen and Naidu.
Oh, it's going to be a tough few laps and race. one more heat there for Reza Levy, but he's going to keep his head down. You saw how aggressive that move was. I think he can hear us. He's finally gotten, I think, his momentum together. Hopefully he'll be able to, sort of work up the ranks now. But Rhys Curzon just looks really good at the moment, and he knows he's got that, I suppose, mental advantage, knowing that from the position he's in, he just has to keep things tidy and keep it all neat. Divian Naidu barred there as a possible challenge because he's right on his bumper.
Yeah, it's literally Western Province versus KZN here.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be fighting for. Not only are we looking for a South African championship, we're looking for a regional class championship. We're looking for a regional status as well. And whether you're going to be a banana boy or you're going to be a man from the mountain goats, it's a bit of fun and games that's going to be happening too. But at this stage, Rhys Curzon is hanging on for dear life because he's got, 9, 12, 13 point advantage over the man behind him. I'm going to suggest something slightly different to you. I don't think they're working together, but I think Divian has got a slightly better pace than Curzon. Curzon got away. Now he's not getting away. So they've set that barrel up perfectly now for the second heat of today's racing and the third heat of the finals. So he might just be waiting to pounce. And as I say that, he's gone for a dive on the inside. We just missed it in the foreground there. And up the hill, I think we may have a change-up. And yes, indeed, there you go. Exactly on time. And right back comes Curzon. Curzon and Naidu now going at it. This is where the battle's for the lead of the championship, for the lead of the race. So I was about to say, it looked like he was waiting and biding his time.
Pacing
It
himself.
might have been a little bit early. Maybe that's just a tester. He has a look. Okay, you can come back with me here. I need to find another place to find a way. Maybe turn one might be an option as he goes into turn one. 6 to go. He's late on the brakes, but he tucks in behind Rhys Curzon. Curzon setting the pace nicely here, but as I said, I think there's a little ace up the sleeve there from the Brill man.
Just as you said, it happened precisely as you predicted. Now that's Reza Levy will be hoping for more of that for him to capitalize on.
He has to have more of that.
Exactly, yeah. He needs a lot more, and 6 laps is plenty time for more of that to happen. I think Naidu, you're perfectly right. I think he's just testing the waters to see if he actually has the pace and has the ability to actually get ahead of his Curzon there. But Curzon answered back very quickly. Jesus, nail-biting stuff, literally. You have to sit on edge when you're looking at this. I mean, Boshoff is...
Incoming.
Yeah, he left it wide open for Reza there. Didn't give him much of a battle. We'll see if he's got a good run out at the bottom. It's important that Reza gets a lot of momentum going into this section. We're seeing a lot of karters actually struggling with it, especially with the lesser powered junior classes.
Much better line from him that time.
Yeah.
So he didn't go defensive. He carried the speed. He carried the momentum up the hill. He's not going to get any attentions there from the 643 card of Jan Boshoff. And Boshoff actually lost a little bit of ground due to the fact that he had to follow him through there. So it's kart placement time now. It's important to carry corner speed. It's important to not make any mistakes. Watch for your outbraking. Watch that you don't go too close and potentially give yourself a nose cone infringement. We haven't taken into account any infringements or technical infringements that have happened so far. We're on to the final lap now, and I was expecting the barrel to be closer. I think Rhys Curzon realized that the strategy was coming out of Divianado to try and catch him out. There's a move from Haystack looking for the chance of fourth, but he couldn't make it stick there on Boshoff. But Curzon has done it all right. He saw, and I think maybe when we were talking about it earlier on, Divian went too soon. And now Curzon realized what was happening and has now been able to remedy that and ensure that he maintains the lead not only of the race to take the win, but maintains the lead of this championship with that win.
Yeah, a lot of points on, or a lot at stake rather. So Curzon very privy to Naidu's potential attack. Very good on him securing the flag there with Naidu in second. Reza Levy though, he still does have a lot of bit of work to do. I mean, he has secured the podium position as we said, but still a heat 3 that's going to be very tough for him. At least he's a high five between two.
High five and off the track.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that, eh?
Jeez.
Let's give you confirmation of the results for the top 10 as they come through to complete their second heat of the day and the third heat of racing. It's Rhys Curzon ahead of Divian Naidu, Reza Levy and Vian Boshoff. Eric Haystack ahead of Mohammed Murat, and then in 7th place Sambudla, Mabunda in 8th, Travis Minga in 9, and Josh Schmidt comes through to make up the top 10.
How are you feeling?
Good. All of this wouldn't have happened if I was in GMP, like I said. And looking a little bit back, but well done to Naidu and everyone and Reza. And I undercut team because he took me in the inside. coming here where you go out pit lane, and then I just took him. Then he took me. Then I undercut him back.
So now you've got such a lead. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
It looks like you don't even have to really go that far.
One more race and I win the day and the national championship.
Yeah, well, the last couple of races we didn't have the power, and this race we had the power and we were right there. And I should have made a move sooner or later, but he just started to pull away from me towards the end.
It's quite a race you had there this week. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was tough. I had to defend Vian Boshoff and Eric, but I had to defend a lot because they caught up to me on the last few laps. But I really did well because in the first heat, in the second heat, I wasn't thinking that much. I didn't defend with Devian and Murat.
But even with a bad result, Kurzan will still be in with a shot of this overall championship. And of course, he's on pole position, which just gives him a huge advantage here.
Yep. And it's going to be elbows out for Devian Naidu. They'll see how things pan out for him and Reza Levy.
Good start, clean start.
Yeah, very good start.
Down into turn one they go, and it is Kurzan who hits the whole shot and takes it down into turn one. Hangs on for now as they head towards turn two with the 643 cart right on his tail. Nice start coming out of Vian Boshoff, and we're seeing better and better starts and better standings out of Vian Boshoff through the three heats of today. Yesterday, Vian Boshoff finished up third overall, so he's got a chance of potentially taking a victory here. Where did he go, though? Made a mistake through the tunnel and dropped down into third place. Small mistake there, which is allowed. Is that Naidu? I think it is. Divya Naidu up into second. No, it's not. Where is Naidu? I'm trying to find out where he is. He's a bit further back than what I'd like. Yeah, but as we go through there, of course, the camera angles now with the sun is going to make it very difficult. It is Naidu. It is Naidu. It is Naidu in second, yes.
And you've got Haystack there in fourth, just behind Boshoff. Going to have to work his way up again if Boshoff is in range to actually give him a shot. Bit of dicing there is that Reza Levy, they're getting involved in some of the action very early on. That's him just behind Luvuya Sambutla. They also are getting his name featuring. Haven't seen a lot of him this past weekend.
Luvuya having a fantastic run in this kart championship all through the season. Had a couple of top finishes as well from his point of view. So Sambutla at one stage, I think he actually took a victory. He's taken a couple of second places. In fact, he's taken a couple of victories, in fact, in this championship. So he's definitely a contender. But right now it's all about Kurzan, and he is leading things out there for Zencore Engineering, his sponsor, and pushing hard ahead of Divyan Naidu, Vian Boshoff, Eric Haystack, and Mohammed Murat into 5.
Yeah, Sambutla has managed to work his way up, himself up rather, to a fifth place championship finish. So he's not exactly a slouch, no, not at all. But some of the tactics haven't really come together for him this weekend. And there's, to be frank, there's been quite a lot of battles happening out in front of him and behind him, and some tough races to be racing around. So it hasn't been an easy one. I mean, Murat is right behind him there, leading up the Razor himself. So we're looking forward to a bit of dicing there as the race progresses.
Yeah, Reza Levy down there means that he has not got the start he needed, got the start he wanted, because Divyan Naidu in second place will secure second if he stays as it is right now. But remember, this one, he's still got, 15 lapper? Yes, a 15 lapper to be done. We've completed only 2 of them. 13 to go. We're going to be completing 3 now. 12 to go now for these guys. And I think Reza could be just feeling a bit dejected here. So Luvuya Sambutla closing in on the back end of Haystack, and Make Me wants to bring along Reza and Josh Schmidt. And if that happens, it'll be 9 carts fighting for second.
Wow. Now, knowing it's not the Bam Bambino class, but turn 1 could get ugly if it's 9 carts going for second.
Especially into the last couple of laps. And we've still got 10 to go. So they're into the second, third, or the first third completed, into the second, third right now of this final heat of Micromax.
Just over the hill, everyone seems to be getting a good run. It's usually where whoever's made a mistake gets exposed when they get to that part of the hill, because you need, as we've said all throughout the day, you need plenty of momentum, especially with these younger and junior classes in karting.
Correct tire from Haystack. Didn't see that one coming, did he?
Not at all.
Boshoff thought he had the line, and all of a sudden looked across, and there was Haystack diving through on him. So little mistake there, opening up the door. and giving the chance to Haystack to come through. He tries to come back at him into the tunnel, but can't make it stick and tucks in behind. Watch for a dive, though, going down into the bottom corner. There you go, returning the favour and bringing along Sambudla for the ride. Sambudla dived through there as well. Has he got... No, he hasn't got through. He nearly got through, though.
Now, what I like about that corner is if you're the guy who's just behind with the bat, nice.
Now he gets him.
Smooth. Very
Sorry to jump in, but no, he got him. And he got him pretty firmly there as well.
Yeah, quite impressive.
But as I said, with that move, Sambudla's brought the other two along. Look at just in the background there. Yeah. There you've got Murat and Levy right there too.
Yeah, they're in tow now. But I was just saying, like, momentum is a big thing. And if... Oh, 3 abreast. Jeez.
How was that? Haystack back at Sambudla. Nice. Coming back. Here comes Murat and Razor. Razor's in there as well, and he's up for a bit of a challenge. There goes. What a move from Murat. Murat dives on the inside, finds a way through there, and Sambudla gets the motor down in another position.
And a very gutsy move from Murat there. But I think the Razor might smell blood with all this back and forth. He knows there might be a chance for him, especially around this part of the circuit where you can literally get past someone based on momentum alone. If you just have a good run going out of that, you can actually pass someone.
Carry the corner speed up the hill.
100.
Make sure you put the kart in the right part that gives you the best drive out of those twisties, and then go for a move. And what it does is it sets you up either to have a go here, and that's a difficult one because you're going through there rapidly. So to try and outbrake someone when you're all on flat out pace is not always the easiest thing to do, but if you get good corner speed through there, when you head into the bottom turn here, turn 1, that's where you can pull a move just like that from Reza Levy.
Nicely done. Let's see if we can get some more out in turn 2, but that's going to be a tight one. I know.
Sambudla saying,
answering back.
I got this.
Brilliant. I thought Razor would actually defend going into that, because I've seen a lot of the drivers, as soon as they've secured a position out of turn 1, the first thing they do is go extremely defensive in turn 2 because they know it's not all over yet.
Murat making a move there as well, having a good look, and just makes a bit more of a maneuver up there, trying to find a way past, and did that. So Mohammed Murat also starting to have some fun and games too. And the fun and games are not done yet because we've still got, of course, lots of action to come your way here today. There's still the final of Junior Max DD2s and DD2 Masters to be sorted out, and of course some championships to be wrapped up there too. We'll get into those in the very closing stages. We've got 6 to go now for this incredible fight for Micromax. Reese Kuzen, we haven't really seen much of him because he has disappeared at the front end to the tune of about 1.4 seconds. Kuzen diving through and onto a back marker as we see a move there from the 627. Mohammed Murat making up another bit of ground there, chopping and changing in that pack of second carts.
A lot of it, and we're not going to see Reese Kuzen at all if this continues to happen.
Back marker could come into play here as well. Yep. Coming up onto the back end of Anesu Mampula, and I think he could be a bit of a threat to this, the change up of how the proceedings go here. Here they come on the back marker. The blue flags should be waving for that back marker. He holds the line, which is the right thing to do, and the faster carts are supposed to find a way through. 3 of them do, 2 of them don't.
Oh, and that makes a huge difference.
And that's Razor. And I think that's 39. That'll be Haystack, Haystack and Razor getting caught by the back marker, and they've lost some ground now to that back.
Oh, jeez. Murat is going to have to take advantage of the fact that he's been given a break by the back marker there, as well as Livua Sambudla going in on, is that Willem Boshoff?
Vian Boshoff.
Okay.
So Vian Boshoff having to defend now big time on Sambudla, and Sambudla's through. Sambudla diving through there into the bottom corner and going with Murat. Now Murat had a look going into turn 2. He actually went past both of them and going, let's go guys, let's go.
Let's do this.
And he's like, come on, let's do this.
Focus.
So he's there now. So Murat has got the focus on, and he's now looking up the road going, hang on a second. Divya Naidu is not too far up there. In fact, I'm looking there. I'm a bit concerned about my timing monitor, and I'm looking down to make sure that I'm not getting caught out. No, I'm not getting caught out. It is definitely still Reese Kuzen out front, but it's not on the timing monitor. It's not. Right now, Divya Naidu, according to the timing monitor, is leading. I think they're missing Reese Kuzen every time he crosses the line.
Yeah, and it looks like Boshoff is not agreeing with Murat there in terms of the tactics and the let's go mentality. He just made a move on him on turn 1, which again kills the momentum the entire train has, giving Divya Naidu a lot of room to play with.
So we're into the 3.5 laps to go for these guys. Okay, that's a big concern there. I thought I was seeing things, but I'm just going to give you a heads up. Reese Kuzen is into pit lane. Reese Kuzen into pit lane means he will get a DNF for this one. It is one that he can throw away, so it might not affect his championship. So let's have a look and see if Reza can do something in these last half of a lap. I don't think that's going to be the case because the checkered flag is standing by. It's just too little too late there for Reza Levy, but he definitely pushed hard. And speaking of pushing hard, Murat just pushed him to the sideline. He's not giving him an easy run to the line, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
Mohamed Murat, of course, is in 4th place in the championship, so he's fighting hard for that lead. Here he comes to the line. And to take the win, but not the championship, congratulations to Divya Naidu. Naidu takes the win. He moves into 2nd place with Reza Levy in 3rd. So confirmation results, Naidu from Levy and Murat, then Sambudla Haystack, Vian Bosov, Josh Schmidt, Inteniso Mbunda, Travis Minge and Ethan Lennon making up the top 10. But your champion is already down in pit lane, and that is Reese Kurzan for 2019 in Micromac.
It went quite well. I had a bit of luck in that one race, the last race. When Reese tried to go around the back marker, it didn't really quite go his way, and he went straight into the pits.
South African national champion. Tell me how you feel at this moment.
I feel good, and it was a great weekend, and I'm here with Murat, Reza, Naidu and Livwe, dicing and racing and Cape Town and Idubi and Cape Town. And thank you to my dad and mom and friends for supporting me to win national. And thank you to Uncle Mark. None of this would have happened if I was in GMP. And thank you to Fasi, he is working hard to let me win the national championship.